we discourage this sort of traditional one lab head, one lab approach to doing science. And it has a lovely airy feeling about it, which is just a fun place to work. So I think people were worried about the open plan, and the people who are used to working in cubby holes and never seeing a living soul didn't like the idea initially, but I think everybody's actually got used to the idea very quickly, so it's working. We also wanted an iconic building, so I actually said this to the architects when we first talked with them, and we wanted a building where there was a great deal of input from the users into the design. And because we actually managed the whole process ourselves, so this was actually done through the Roslin Foundation, but essentially with me as CEO of the Build project, we got exactly what we wanted, and anything that's wrong with it is also our fault.
Do you think there's enough understanding outside of what goes on here? I mean, the name Roslin will forever be linked with doughy sheep, won't it?
I don't think anybody, I think very few people outside an institute like Roslin understand the extent to which the livestock industry has been revolutionised. The average, when I was a child, chicken was a luxury, which we had maybe once a month. Nowadays it's a staple, and it's vastly cheaper than it used to be, and there's a very simple reason: because we've bred chickens that eat less and grow fast. And an awful lot of that has come from Roslin. The biggest chicken breeding company in the world, Aviagen, actually essentially grew out of Roslin and is still headquartered, or at least partly headquartered, in Edinburgh. Similarly in the pig industry, and we're really starting to address the major production issues of ruminants, the sheep and cattle, which are really essential for the future of livestock agriculture in Scotland. The extent to which we've changed the biology of livestock, I don't think people realise. Everything we eat is genetically modified, and, you know, and that's what Roslin does. But there's an awful lot of what we do that's relevant to human health, so we really do talk about one medicine, one health. And animals get the same diseases that we do. Large animals are much more like us. And when we solve the problems of large animals, we also lead into the clinic. So people outside would be surprised to know that we're interested in a pig intensive care unit. Now, we're not trying to really solve the problems of Asian pigs, but pigs and humans are really quite similar. So you know, I think people don't really appreciate the full impact. And even the UK Life Sciences strategy ignores livestock agriculture as a sector. It's focused on the pharmaceutical industry. But livestock agriculture is a very, very big business, with all kinds of economic impact and social impact on communities. And I think the importance of what we do is underestimated by both the Scottish Government and the UK Government.
The work that goes on here always throws up ethical questions, doesn't it?
It sort of does. I think I talk quite frequently about the ethical issues. The questions really become rather more vexed if one deals with the question of whether we're going to be able to feed the world. And it's a luxury to talk about ethics as we currently do, about giving, you know, organic beef and free-range chickens and the like, none of which, in my view, actually improves animal welfare. But when the price of meat goes high enough, and which it's going to go, and the competition for it gets more and more stringent in the world, we're going to have to actually ask, what can we afford to do? Having said that, we are actually in the business of animal welfare, because an unhealthy, unhappy animal is less productive. So we are not interested in creating monsters or creating animals that are in some way stressed because they simply produce less. You know, one doesn't have to. It's not a question of ethics in one sense. It's a question of hard-nosed business. A happy, healthy animal is more productive.
You're sitting here in this wonderful new building. Where do you see the Institute's future?
I think the animal sciences sector with ourselves, SAC, Dick Vet, Morden, Glasgow Vet School, the Roslin Institute in Aberdeen, and the two vet schools, the animal sciences sector in Scotland is world leading. That's actually not something you can say about other branches of science in Scotland or indeed in the UK. UK is a world leader in some fields of science, and it's world class in most fields of science. But within Scotland, we have a very strong medical research sector, but we have a world leading animal sciences sector. And I think we will continue to grow. I think we have planning permission to extend on this site. I think we're already starting to attract industry partners to this site. We are looking to build a national avian research facility here. We're looking to expand the veterinary pathology to become a world-leading centre of veterinary pathology on this site. So I think the future is essentially one of growth. We already have well over 1,000 scientists in this precinct, and I don't actually see a limit. I think that in the future governments are going to have to return to serious investment in livestock agriculture. For the last 20 years, when we thought we had butter mountains and we didn't need to worry, governments essentially left it up to private industry. Particularly in the sheep and cattle sectors, I don't think that's viable. They're not stratified industries. We need to have government intervention and active participation in development of improved animals that have a less impact on the environment and are more productive. So I think basically it's a growth sector and we're uniquely placed to compete.